Well, great morning. Today is Saturday, November 20th. Don't forget, this afternoon, 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time is Hodiga time. So I will be over there with Hogarth and Diane. Okay. So we're taking this deck out today. We're going to see what we have. What is the spiritual read today? Thank you for letting me know that you really enjoy the spiritual reads. Let's see. Feather. Think before you judge. Think before you judge. Okay. Let's look and see what else we have with this. Yeah, believe it or not, I have somebody that screams and claims on a daily basis that all my spiritual life messages are attacks. Yeah, okay, I don't get that, but that's craziness. Anyway, let's see what else we have with this. So what we have, think before you judge, spiritual guidance. Now I think that's interesting. That card is feather, and here is also feather. Think before you judge, and spiritual guidance. Like I said, these are spirit readings. Let's go to the next one, see what we have. Okay, root chakra. Root chakra. Okay. So when we come to think before you judge, spiritual guidance, root chakra, that the root chakra is about fight or flight, okay? Survival, fight or flight. So if you are out there, and we still have 2 more to go to see what the whole thing is. But from this, if you are having something that's pushing a button or and you want to do fight or flight against it and you're judging and going off on a bender, okay, it might be something to be looked at. What is it that is so unnerving? What is it that is so, that one doesn't want to see? One just wants to push against and either run from or sit there and fight it, okay? When there's really no reason that these things take place to get one to encounter and perhaps look at something, okay? Yeah, so here we go, not a surprise. This is when things are coming in that you don't want to see, okay, that you don't want to deal with. Okay, so not a surprise that came out. Last but not least, yeah, go to higher ideals. Have something higher in mind rather than staying stuck. Because it's a place of being stuck. If you can't get beyond that, okay, and you can't go, the more you stay in fight or flight, anger, just wanting to hit back, demean, do whatever nonsense one is doing, it's something in one's own life that needs to be handled usually. Usually it has little to do about the person they're railing against. It has to do more with something within themselves that they're not going to look at I'm right, the world is wrong. That type of a thing. I'm right, the world is wrong. Okay. And taking something and judging it, okay, without having all the facts, trying to spin something into something it's not. Okay. So if there is this fight or flight response immediately, something's getting pushed, and one is going out there and just wanting to cause, vilify somebody, continue to put out the type of angry type of thing and judgment, okay? Look at it. Think first. How does it make you look when you do something like that? Okay? What is it that is so, being so pushed in your own life? What is being so pushed in your own life? So to get beyond it, see something higher. See something better. Aim for something better. And don't stay locked into that. Don't stay locked into that root chakra, because you're not going to move forward unless you get beyond it. This is the starting point. Okay? If you can't even get beyond the starting point, how can you complete? Okay? How can you complete? So where is it that the roots are growing? Root chakra. What is it that's embedded, that's there? Okay? One has to be grounded, centered, be willing, have higher aspirations to be able to get beyond their box of things that I don't want to deal with, I don't want to look at, I don't want to see. Okay? That I have my well-defined, confined box of how things have to look. I have a list of it, what a spiritual teacher has to look like, has to sound like, has to present as, and if it doesn't fit my preconceived notions, then it's fake, it's a fraud, it's and then that stops one from being able to go higher, to reach those higher places. If one is staying so hung up on something in these judgments, then one is not progressing. We see some that are of some religious persuasions which will kick against others. And again, no need for it. There's only one God, one singular source, and I don't care if you are Christian, Muslim, Hindu. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Everyone is striving to know the divine is. And like I said, the different religious persuasions and paths are just different scenery along the way. That's all. Different scenery along the way, but the end point is the same. The end point is the same. So what is there to judge and kick against with that? What is there to judge and kick against with that? Okay. Now, if you see this, one might be wanting to judge it and say, I see them sitting in a circle, witch's hat, this woman that's floating, they must be doing black magic. And maybe it's nothing of the sort. Maybe it's some type of a healing thing, okay? But again, when you have knee-jerk reactions and just want to put out something and really rail against it, fight. And then what does this say? What does this say? If you're not willing to look deeper and find out the truth of something, what does this say? Okay. So I'm going to leave this here. And, yeah, like I said, I have somebody out there that claims every one of these is an attack, a well-armed attack. Nothing of the sort is happening. But again, if it's something maybe in their life that hasn't been addressed, and it's pushing a button, then, and it, you know, and this is what happens if something is pushing your button and you don't want to deal with it. You know, maybe you'll feel it's an attack, and this is exactly what it's talking about. Don't judge. Don't get out there and say all these nasty, horrendous things to try to tear down, you know, what does they say? Don't shoot the messenger, okay? I'm not sitting here. You can see me shuffle the cards, pull them at random, okay? So again, if they want to claim that this is a well-armed attack, then they're fighting with the universe. I didn't pre-plan those cards. They come out as they do. I just give the message as to what the cards are pointing to. That's it. So I'm going to leave this here, and hopefully it's benefited someone. And thank you for those that do leave the comments and let me know that this is something that, you know, a message that's been good to hear, something that it helps one's journey to move forward. And that's what these messages are about. They're not done to go out and push somebody's buttons, although, you know, you can't help if you've got somebody that's out there claiming that on a daily basis, you know. So I can't help their perceptions. And like this message says, don't judge. Don't go into that judgment. And from the root chakra of immediate fight and flight, immediate fight, immediate, you know, anger, and just like the message said yesterday, go into that tower meltdown mode of anger, okay? Because it doesn't benefit anything. To sit there and be angry because of the spiritual life messages and want to hit out at here, okay, isn't going to benefit anything, okay? So these are not done out of anger and malice. These are done because this is what the universe is giving me to talk on. So that's what I do. I'm talking about what the cards are saying, okay? So I'm going to leave this here, love and light. You know, if one wants to kick against the goads, okay, good luck with that. Want to get angry and scream because I'm doing spiritual life messages, okay, good luck with that. You want to try to mirror everything back, that whatever I say is something that I need to hear, that I'm not looking at myself. I did that work for 20 years, okay? I've done the work, done the path, completed it in 1999. So whatever, when you have somebody that wants to deflect everything, it's kind of like, it feels like a schoolyard. I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? To that degree of ridiculousness, okay? So, no, I've done the work. I've done the introspection. Come to peace in my life, okay? So whatever vilifying that someone wants to do out there, good luck with that. And while we're at that, I'm going to clear up one thing, because I have somebody out there that runs around and says, I said I'm right up there with Jesus Christ, and this is done every single day. They're out there screaming, I think I'm up there with Jesus Christ. I said I'm up there with Jesus Christ. It's not what I said, okay? Let me clarify yet again. I was talking and addressing somebody that came and made an absolutely heinous, running around the net, saying absolutely ludicrous, heinous things. Okay? And what I said was, I'm a reformer. I came to be a reformer. That I'm one of the first people that was a guru on the internet from 1999. This was not being done, okay? I was one of the first. And because of that, because I have an online ashram, that I'm working with people online instead of having a physical ashram, and because I'm a woman, I'm from the West, I got a lot of hate thrown at me. A lot of hate. And reformers will get a lot of hate thrown at them. Okay? So this is what was being addressed. I said Christ came to reform Judaism. Okay? He was not always, speaking sweet, dulcet tones. He went in and threw over the money changers' tables. Okay, told them, this my Father's house is a house of prayer, and you made it a den of thieves. He told those that were abusing children that it's better you have a millstone around your neck and you get thrown into the deepest ocean. Okay? What you have done to the least of these, you have done to me. He came and was teaching as well as being Son of God. Okay? Do I say out there that I'm being Son of God? I think I'm up there, and that I came directly from God, and no, it's not what I'm saying. It's not what I've said. I also use Buddha as an example. Buddha left his life where he was at. He did the path, and then he gave back what he could give back. He taught, he did what he could back. How did he die? They don't know if he was poisoned or if he just ate bad tainted pork. But yes, he ate meat, okay? Buddha was not a vegetarian, okay? That's why I use Buddha as an example. And of course, the one that gets conveniently left out is Kabir. Now, why does it get left out? Because they want to spin it and say that I'm saying something, intimating something that's not there. Take something out of context and make it seem like it's something dark. That I'm, being a total egoist and saying, I'm right there with Jesus Christ. I'm right up there. Okay, it's not what's being said, never been intimated in that way. That's only coming from, again, what is this reading about? False judgment. Okay. When you get somebody and they're in that skewed mentality, No matter what you say, they will take it out and spin it into something nefarious that's not being done. Okay? So, why did I talk about Kabir? Because Kabir was hated by both sides. Muslims didn't like him when he was alive. Hindus didn't like him when he was alive because he told them like it is. He told them basically, a lot of the sadhus, you out there and you're wearing these orange clothes and you're nothing but thugs. Okay? Nothing but thugs. And he lived his regular life. He was a weaver. He stayed a weaver. But he gave out the messages from where he was at. That's what I was referring to. You teach where you're at, you reform where you're at, you do what you can to move along society, to move along, okay, to dispel, to break through conditioned mindsets. That's what was being said. That's what was being referred. Okay? And so maybe I will read some of the things that Kabir said. Kabir was very harsh. I mean, he just put it right out there in no uncertain terms. Okay? Just like, from the beginning, I stood up. I didn't want a physical ashram. Why? Because you get politics in there. You get all that drama in there. And I say you have to do your path where you're at in your life. What's good if you run away and hide out somewhere and you don't want to use, because I teach a tantra path. Yes, it's not about sex. It's not about black magic. It's about living life and using everything in life to move forward. Part of that is your job, your interactions with other people. Okay? That's part of your spiritual practice. So yes, there are people out there that are going to judge, knee-jerk reactions, put out vilifying things, take things out of context and spin it to make you seem like you're an egotistical person, an egotistical ass. Okay? And it comes from what? Jealousy comes from a button got pushed. Something is there that they're reactionary to. Then it's something to be looked at. What is your problem that I have an online ashram? Okay? What is your problem that I wear makeup? What is your problem with any of that? Okay? I don't fit the mold, this preconceived box that you have to have. Okay? And that's part of the job of being a guru, one weighty with knowledge. That's what guru means, weighty with knowledge, and especially being a sat guru, one that is in truth, giving the teachings from truth to help to break through conditioned mindsets. And that's what I'm doing on a daily basis. Realization of a radical change of consciousness is not based on how one looks. Okay? I could look like this, or I could look like a beggar. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whether I'm wearing robes and sitting up here in robes, or whether I look like this. The consciousness does not change based on how one looks. Okay? Teachings do not change. You will see that my teachings from the beginning have held up the test of time. And I will continue to give teachings. I will continue to try to break through conditioned minds and give the best that I can give. Now, if you want to spin it and make it dark and nefarious and say, I think I'm right up there with Jesus Christ, be my guest. Continue to be in your darkened mind of hate. Continue to rail. Continue to create things that are not happening. Okay? And I addressed this the other day. Okay, somebody that came that wanted to do an interview because I teach a Tantra path. They're over there asking if I'm having sex with my guru. This is where their filthy mind went to. Set me up on a date with one of the women there. I'm dating. I'm not a dating service. My women, they're all celibates at that point in time. Okay? They were all celibates. And because they didn't want to go to a bar and listen to this guy sing Besame Mucho and try to chat up the women, and because I tell them, if you need to be grounded, eat meat. Because of these things, he started this vilification campaign against me, saying I thought I was right up there with Jesus Christ. Okay? Actually said he was going to come up and kidnap one of the women. Okay? Yeah. Started smear campaigns, putting out a lot of false information and false hatred things, making them up. Okay? And this is supposed to be somebody on a spiritual path. Okay? Immediate judgment. And again, that's why this talk is today, the judgment. The thing that came through today was about don't judge. Don't judge. If you want to get higher, then you don't vilify people. You don't take things out of context and spin it into something nefarious. Okay? You don't go out there and try to smear somebody by making up stuff and putting it out there like it's some sort of a truth that you know. Okay? When it's coming from nothing other than hate, coming from hate, because they don't fit your defined box, what it has to be like. So you're going to take it down by whatever means and justify yourself for doing it. Okay? And these are supposed to be people that are touting themselves to be on a spiritual path. And there's nothing spiritual about doing something like that to people. Nothing spiritual at all. Absolutely not, because that comes from the depths of darkness to put out lies about somebody, taking their words out of context and spinning it into something it's not, to try to dirty them, to try to smear them. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here. Again, maybe this was time for this to be spoken, because these are the cards that came out. You saw me shuffle them, pull them at random. So if you're going to fight, fight with the universe. Okay? Fight with the universe. Because I just go with the flow. I go with the flow. This is what comes out, so this is what I'm talking about. Okay? It's the way it works. And I have no apologies for having an online ashram, for standing up and being a light, to break through people's conditioned ideations about things, to show them It's a radical change of consciousness, and you do the path where you're at. You use everything at your disposal to move forward. You don't run away up in the Himalayas. You don't run away into the forest by yourself, because if you get liberated there and you can't stand to be around society, then you're not liberated. Then it's not real liberation. That's why you do the path where you're at. This is why you do a tantric path, that you use everything at your disposal to move forward. Your interactions with people. And this is why these spiritual life readings come out, to aid people where they are at. Now, if it doesn't apply to you, and not every spiritual life reading is going to apply to everyone, then just, blow it off. It's not for you. But if it's something that's touching something there, okay, either that it's affirming, or maybe it's pushing a button. If it's pushing a button and you can't let go of it, then ask yourself why. What is it that's not being seen, or wants to be fought against, or wants to be deflected and mirrored back in the childish thing? I know you are, but what am I? Type of schoolyard bully thing. Okay. Really. What is it that's not being seen? That one is wanting to put blinders on and try to, again, schoolyard bully type thing. I'm mirroring it back. I'm going to mirror it back. Okay? This is something you need to see. You're saying it. You're the one that needs to see. Really, please grow up. Grow up. So I'm going to leave this here. Much love and light to everyone out there. And again, if this is something that is touched you in one way or another, I hope it helps one with their own journey. The journey, I never say it's easy. I've never said the spiritual journey is easy, because it's going to bring up things in one's life to look at, to navigate through. For the one that says, I've never looked at it, and I'm not willing to look at anything, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay? Yes, I did the work. For 20 years, I did introspection, questioning, looking at, witnessing, breaking through. And again, what does it say when there are ones out there that want to purport that they know what you're thinking? Okay? They know whatever it is that you're doing, and actually say, basically, they know what you're thinking. They know the reason that you do things. Okay? And they don't know any of it. Okay? They don't know any of it. For those that want to think they're in my mind, you're not in my mind. You're projecting your ideology. You're projecting your nonsense, what your beliefs and what your holdings are about me, onto me. Okay? So if you think that you know what's going on in my mind, or what I've done and why I've done it, and you put that out there like you are some expert on my life when you've never ever been around me, never ever talked with my students, never been with a satsang, never read any of my books, absolutely nothing, and yet you project out there that you know exactly what I'm thinking, what I'm doing every moment of my life, and why I'm doing it, then that's called a projection. That's your own failed thinking, and like this spiritual reading of today was saying, judging. It's coming out of your own knee-jerk reactionary judgments and story that you want to layer on here because of something that's going on in your own life. Okay? So I am your scapegoat. I'm not here to be your scapegoat. But if that's what you want to do out there, you know, the ones that want to come and tell me what I'm thinking, I always love that one. People that come and tell you what you're thinking and what your motives are and what you're doing in your life, and they have no idea. This is just their own fantasy projections, conditioned ideology that they're spewing out there and making some storyline that's going to fit their narrative, okay? Then, again, this is something to look at. It's about that, again, not judging. Not judging. When you don't have a way to judge, stop judging. Okay? So much love and light to everyone. Wow, this wound up being a much longer thing. I thought this was when it came out, it was going to be a short one. I never know what direction it's going to go. Oh, but this was a long one today. But I think it was, these are things that perhaps should be addressed, and that's why it come out. Like I said, there's no accidents in the universe. Why is this coming out? And again, people can be over there and deflect it and mirror it back, be the schoolyard bully nonsense. You know, be like Pee Wee Herman. I know you are, but what am I? Pee Wee Herman up there dancing. Yeah, you know, time to grow up and move forward in one's life. Love and light.